In a quiet town, surrounded by tall trees and whispering winds, lived a young man named Alex. He was known for his curious nature and adventurous spirit. Every day after school, Alex would wander through the woods, exploring new paths and dreaming of exciting discoveries. Little did he know that today would change his life forever. As Alex walked deeper into the forest, he noticed something strange among the trees. The sunlight glimmered off a shiny surface, drawing him closer. He pushed through the branches, and there it was, a large metallic ship, unlike anything he had ever seen. The ship was shaped like a giant teardrop, smooth and shiny, with vibrant colors reflecting the sunlight. It looked as if it had come from another world. His heart raced with excitement and fear. What if it's a spaceship? He thought. Alex had read countless books and watched many movies about aliens and spaceships, but he never expected to find one in his own backyard. His mind was filled with questions. Who built it? Where did it come from? What was inside? Taking a deep breath, Alex stepped closer. The door of the ship was slightly open, and a soft, blue light flickered inside. Curiosity got the better of him, and he pushed the door fully open. The moment he crossed the threshold, the door slid shut behind him with a gentle thud. Alex jumped, but quickly reminded himself to stay calm. Inside, the air was cool and filled with the smell of strange metal. The walls of the ship sparkled like stars in the night sky. Alex marveled at the glowing buttons and screens that lined the control panel. He could hardly believe his eyes. "This is amazing," he whispered to himself. Suddenly, the ship hummed to life. The lights brightened, and a voice echoed through the cabin. "Welcome, Earthling. Preparing for departure." Alex's heart raced as he realized the ship was taking off. He felt a rush of wind as the ship began to ascend. Panic gripped him, but he couldn't tear his eyes away from the view outside. The forest shrank beneath him, and the town disappeared into the distance. Where am I going? Alex wondered, gripping the control panel. Just then, the ship made a sharp turn, and he saw the vastness of space ahead. Stars twinkled like diamonds against a deep black canvas. He had always dreamed of flying among the stars, but now that it was happening, he felt scared and exhilarated at the same time. The ship soared through the galaxy, leaving Earth far behind. Alex tried to find a way to control the ship, but the buttons were unfamiliar. What if I crash? He thought, his heart pounding. Just then, the ship began to slow down, and Alex felt a gentle pull. He braced himself for landing. With a soft thud, the ship touched down on a beautiful alien planet. The sky was a brilliant shade of purple, and the ground was covered in lush green grass that shimmered in the light. Alex stepped out of the ship, his eyes wide with wonder. He had landed on another world, a place filled with colors and sights he had never imagined. As he looked around, he noticed strange plants and flowers with colors he had never seen before. Some glowed softly, while others swayed in the breeze. Birds with vibrant feathers chirped happily in the trees. Alex felt a rush of excitement. He was an explorer in an alien land. But before he could take in the beauty around him, he heard a voice. "Who dares enter my domain?" A figure emerged from behind a tree, and Alex froze. It was a tall alien woman, with shimmering skin that glowed like the stars. Her long hair flowed like liquid silver, and her eyes sparkled with a fierce intelligence. "I am Zilara, the mistress of this planet," she declared, her voice strong and commanding. Alex felt a mix of fear and awe as he gazed at her. She was both beautiful and terrifying, radiating power. I'm Alex," he stammered, trying to find his words. "I didn't mean to intrude. I found your ship and—" "Enough," Zilara interrupted, stepping closer. "You have entered my realm, and you must face the consequences. I demand your service." Her eyes bore into him, and Alex felt a chill run down his spine. "Service?" he echoed, unsure of what she meant. He glanced back at the ship, wishing he could escape, but something in Zilara's gaze held him captive. There was a challenge in her eyes, a spark of curiosity. "Yes," she said, her voice softening slightly. "You will help me fulfill my needs. If you succeed, you may learn the wonders of this world. If not, you may never return home." Alex swallowed hard. He was scared, but he also felt a thrill of adventure. This was an opportunity like no other. "What do you need me to do?" he asked, determination in his voice. Zilara smiled, revealing sharp teeth. "We will see if you are worthy. Come, Alex. Your journey begins now." With that, she turned and walked deeper into her realm, leaving Alex to follow, unsure of what lay ahead. As Alex walked beside Zilara, he couldn't help but feel a mixture of fear and excitement. He was about to embark on an adventure beyond his wildest dreams. Little did he know that this journey would test his courage, loyalty, and the true meaning of friendship in ways he never imagined. Zilara's demands. Alex followed Zilara through the alien landscape, his heart racing with excitement and uncertainty. The vibrant colors around him seemed to pulse with life, and he couldn't help but feel that he had stepped into a dream. Zilara walked gracefully, her long silver hair flowing behind her like a shimmering waterfall. Alex was amazed by her beauty, but also felt the weight of her power. As they entered a clearing, Alex saw a grand palace made of crystal and glowing stones. It sparkled in the sunlight, casting colorful shadows on the ground. Zilara stopped and turned to him, her eyes fixed on his with a serious expression. "Welcome to my home," she said, her voice echoing with authority. "Now let us discuss your duties." "Duties?" Alex repeated, feeling a knot form in his stomach. He had hoped for an adventure, but now he realized there was more to this than he had imagined. Zilara nodded, a hint of a smile playing on her lips. "Yes. As my servant, you will help me with several tasks. They are important for maintaining my power and the balance of this world." She gestured for him to sit on a large glowing stone. Alex sat down, feeling both honored and nervous. "The first task," Zilara continued, "is to create clothing for me from the fabrics of this land. My wardrobe is lacking, and I need outfits that reflect my status as mistress." She waved her hand, and a pile of colorful materials appeared before him. They shimmered and changed colors, captivating his attention. Alex looked at the fabrics in awe. "I can try," he said hesitantly, "but I'm not a tailor. I've never made clothes before." Zilara tilted her head, studying him. "You may not have experience, but you have a creative mind. I believe you can do this. Remember, my demands are not just tasks. They are challenges. You must use your ingenuity." Alex nodded, feeling the surge of determination. "I'll give it my best shot," he declared. Zilara smiled, and for a moment, her fierce demeanor softened. Over the next few hours, Alex worked hard to design the clothing. He pulled, twisted, and stitched the fabrics, trying to make something worthy of Zilara. At first, his creations were clumsy and awkward, but as he focused, he started to understand the materials better. They were alive, responding to his touch, and he found joy in creating. When he finally finished, he presented the outfits to Zilara with a mix of pride and nervousness. The first was a flowing dress that sparkled like the stars, and the second was a stunning outfit made for combat, perfect for a warrior. Zilara examined each piece, her expression unreadable. "This is not bad for a human," she said slowly, her eyes sparkling with approval. "You have a knack for this. But now, let's see if you can cook." "Cook?" Alex asked, surprised. "I can make a few things back on Earth, but—" Zilara interrupted him with a wave of her hand. "Cooking is another skill you will learn. I need a special dish for an upcoming gathering of my people. It must be impressive." She led him into a vast kitchen, filled with strange fruits and vegetables, glowing and pulsing with energy. As Zilara explained the dish she wanted, Alex listened carefully, his mind racing. "I have never seen any of these ingredients before," he admitted. How do I know what to do? Zilara smiled, her eyes brightening. Trust your instincts. Use what you have learned so far. If you fail, you will learn from your mistakes. Now begin. Alex felt the pressure mounting but decided to embrace the challenge. He gathered the ingredients and started chopping, mixing, and experimenting. The kitchen was filled with strange smells as he cooked, some pleasant and others odd. He tried to follow Zilara's directions, but he often found himself guessing. As the dish began to take shape, Alex felt more confident. He stirred and tasted, adjusting flavors as he went. Zilara watched him closely, her expression serious. Finally, after what felt like hours, Alex plated the dish. It was a colorful mix of vibrant vegetables and sauces, swirling together like a work of art. Zilara approached and took a bite. Alex held his breath, waiting for her reaction. Her eyes widened in surprise. "This is surprisingly good," she exclaimed. "You have done well, Alex." A smile broke across his face. He felt a wave of relief and pride wash over him. "Thank you. I'm glad you like it." But Zilara wasn't finished. "Now for your final task today," she said, a glint of mischief in her eyes. "You must clean my palace. It requires special attention to detail. The dust here has magical properties and must be removed carefully." Alex groaned inwardly, but he knew better than to complain. "Okay, I'll do my best," he said, though the thought of cleaning a palace seemed daunting. Zilara handed him a magical cleaning tool that sparkled with energy. "This will help you," she said. "Use it wisely." As Alex began to clean, he discovered that the tool worked wonders. It glided across surfaces, lifting dust and grime effortlessly. However, he also realized that the dust was sticky and would sometimes stick to the tool, creating more work for him. Hours passed as Alex cleaned, and he began to feel exhausted. Just when he thought he couldn't go on, Zilara appeared beside him. "You are doing well, Alex. Remember, this is not just a chore. It is a lesson in discipline and responsibility." Her words sparked a new determination in him. "I can do this," he thought, pushing through his fatigue. He focused on each area, making sure everything was spotless. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, he stood back and admired his work. Zilara inspected the palace with a critical eye. "You have completed your tasks for today," she said, nodding in approval. "You are proving to be quite capable, Earthling. I have more demands for you in the future, but for now, you have earned a break." Alex felt a mix of relief and anticipation. "Thank you, Zilara. I'm ready for whatever comes next," he replied, excitement bubbling within him. Zilara smiled, and for the first time, Alex felt a true connection with her. He realized that this strange adventure was more than just serving an alien mistress. It was a journey of discovery, learning, and perhaps even friendship. As the sun began to set, painting the sky with hues of orange and pink, Alex looked forward to what tomorrow would bring. He knew that Zilara's demands were just the beginning of an extraordinary journey in this alien world. Learning the culture. The next day, Alex woke up to the soft glow of the alien sun filtering through the crystal windows of Zilara's palace. He stretched and remembered the challenges Zilara had set for him. There was still so much to learn, and he felt a mix of excitement and nervousness. Today, he hoped to understand more about Zilara's world and the customs of her people. After a quick breakfast of the strange fruits he had cooked the day before, Zilara appeared, her presence commanding and elegant. "Today you will learn about my culture," she announced, her eyes sparkling with enthusiasm. "It is important for you to understand the ways of my people if you are to serve me properly." "Sounds great," Alex replied, eager to dive deeper into this strange world. He followed Zilara as she led him outside the palace. The landscape was even more breathtaking in the morning light. Lush, colorful plants surrounded them, and the air was filled with sweet, fragrant scents. Zilara guided him to a large gathering space in the village, where many aliens were already busy preparing for a festival. The aliens looked different from Zilara, with various colors and shapes, but they all shared an aura of energy and beauty. Some were tall and slender, while others were shorter and rounder, with bright, colorful skin. "What is this festival?" Alex asked, curious about the lively atmosphere. "This is the Festival of Unity," Zilara explained. "It is a celebration of our culture and our bond with each other. We honor our ancestors and the strength of our community." She pointed to a group of aliens who were weaving beautiful patterns with colorful threads. "Come, let's join them." As they approached, Alex felt a bit shy. The aliens turned to look at him with friendly smiles. Zilara introduced him. "This is Alex, my Earthling servant. He will learn our ways today." The aliens welcomed him warmly. An elder alien named Myra stepped forward. She had bright blue skin and large, gentle eyes. "Welcome, Alex. You are brave to join us. Today, you will learn to weave our stories into fabric." Alex watched in awe as the aliens worked, their fingers moving swiftly and gracefully. Myra handed him a small loom. "Here, try this," she said kindly. "It may take time, but you will get the hang of it." With Zilara's encouraging nod, Alex started to weave. At first, his hands fumbled with the threads, and he struggled to follow the intricate patterns. The aliens chuckled softly, but it was a kind laughter. Myra showed him patiently how to twist and turn the threads, telling stories of their culture as she worked. "This design represents unity," Myra explained. "Every thread connects to another, just like our community. We believe that together, we are stronger." Alex listened carefully, intrigued by the meaning behind the craft. With each passing moment, he began to feel the rhythm of the weaving and found joy in creating something beautiful. As they wove, Zilara watched with a proud smile. Alex could see how much this festival meant to her and her people. After a while, he managed to create a small piece of fabric filled with bright colors and patterns. The aliens cheered and applauded him. "Well done, Alex," Zilara said, her eyes shining. "You are learning quickly. Now, let us move to the next part of the festival." They moved to another area, where aliens were preparing food for the celebration. The air was filled with delicious scents that made Alex's stomach rumble. He saw a giant pot bubbling over a fire, and a group of aliens were chopping strange fruits and vegetables. "This is the Feast of Sharing," Zilara explained. "Everyone brings their best dishes to share. Food is an important part of our culture. It brings us together." Alex eagerly joined the group, helping to chop and mix. The flavors were unique and bold, unlike anything he had ever tasted on Earth. As he cooked alongside the aliens, he learned about the different ingredients and their meanings. Zilara chimed in, sharing stories about each dish and how they were connected to their traditions. "Food is a way to honor our ancestors," she said. "Each recipe has a history that connects us to our past." As they prepared the feast, Alex felt a sense of belonging. He laughed and joked with the aliens, feeling more comfortable in this new environment. When the food was finally ready, they gathered around a large table, filled with colorful dishes. Zilara raised her voice, commanding attention. "Let us begin the feast. We celebrate our unity and welcome Alex to our family." The aliens cheered, and Alex felt a warm glow in his heart. They all started to eat, and Alex tasted the amazing flavors. Each bite was an explosion of taste, and he couldn't get enough. As they shared stories and laughter, Alex realized how different this was from his life on Earth. Here, everyone was connected, and there was a strong sense of community. After the feast, Zilara took Alex to a quiet place away from the festivities. The sun was setting, casting a golden hue over the land. "I want to show you something special," she said, her voice softening. She led him to a hill overlooking the village. From this vantage point, they could see the festival lights twinkling like stars below. Alex felt a sense of peace wash over him. "Why did you bring me here?" he asked, curious. Zilara looked at him, her expression serious. You are beginning to understand our culture, but there is much more to learn. I brought you here to show you the beauty of our connection. The strength of my people lies in our unity, and you are becoming a part of it. Alex smiled, feeling honored. Thank you for showing me all of this. I never thought I would experience something like this in my life. Zilara nodded. There will be more challenges ahead, Alex, but I believe you can face them. Embrace the lessons of my culture. They will help you grow stronger. As they stood together, watching the festival below, Alex felt a warmth in his heart. He realized that he was not just a servant in Zilara's world. He was becoming a part of something greater. The adventure had just begun, and he was ready to learn more about Zilara, her culture, and the incredible world around him. A dangerous quest. The next morning, Alex woke up feeling energized after the festival. He had learned so much about Zilara's culture, but he also sensed that new challenges awaited him. As he got dressed, he thought about what Zilara had said. The journey was far from over. When he stepped outside, he found Zilara waiting for him, her expression serious. Alex, she began, today, I have a new task for you. It is important, and it will not be easy. What is it? He asked, feeling a mix of curiosity and apprehension. We must retrieve the Starstone, she explained. It is a powerful gem that brings balance to our world. Recently, it was stolen by a group of rogue aliens who wish to disrupt our harmony. We must get it back before it causes more chaos. Alex's heart raced. A stolen gem. How dangerous is this? Zilara nodded. Very. The rogues are cunning and powerful. They live in the dark woods, a place filled with strange creatures and traps. But I believe you have the courage to help me. Together, we can succeed. With a determined nod, Alex replied, I'll do it. Let's get the Starstone back. Zilara smiled, her fierce demeanor softening slightly. Good. Prepare yourself. We will leave immediately. They gathered supplies for the journey. Food, water, and some of the special tools Zilara had. Alex felt a mix of excitement and fear as they set off toward the dark woods. The sun shone brightly above, but as they approached the forest, the light began to dim. The trees grew taller and thicker, their trunks dark and twisted. Stay close to me, Zilara instructed, her voice steady. The dark woods can be deceiving. We must remain alert. As they entered the woods, the air felt heavier, filled with strange sounds and shadows. Alex's heart pounded in his chest. He noticed odd creatures lurking among the trees, their glowing eyes watching them. Are those the rogues? Alex whispered. No, those are just the guardians of the forest. They are not our enemies, but they will test us, Zilara explained. Do not fear them. Suddenly, a loud growl echoed through the trees. A massive creature with sharp claws and glowing fur stepped into their path. It had a fierce look in its eyes and seemed ready to attack. Stand back, Zilara commanded, raising her hands. She summoned a wave of energy that glowed around her. The creature paused, sensing her power, but it still growled menacingly. Alex, we must work together, Zilara said urgently. Distract it while I prepare a barrier. Without thinking, Alex grabbed a branch from the ground and waved it, making loud noises. Hey, over here, he shouted, trying to get the creature's attention. The beast turned its gaze toward him, its eyes narrowing in anger. Zilara concentrated, her energy building. With a flick of her wrist, a shimmering barrier appeared around them, glowing brightly. The creature hesitated, confused by the light. Now, Zilara shouted. They dashed past the creature, racing deeper into the woods. Alex felt a surge of adrenaline as they ran, the sounds of the forest swirling around them. After what felt like an eternity, they stumbled into a clearing. Alex gasped for breath, leaning against a tree. That was close. he said, still feeling the rush of fear and excitement. Zilara nodded, her expression serious. We cannot let our guard down. The rogues will be nearby. We must move quickly. They pressed on, navigating through thick underbrush and tangled roots. After a while, they found a hidden cave, its entrance partially covered by vines. This must be where the rogues are hiding, Zilara whispered, her voice low. Are we really going in there? Alex asked, feeling a mix of fear and determination. Yes, Zilara replied firmly. We need to be cautious but brave. The Starstone is inside. As they entered the cave, the darkness enveloped them. Alex could barely see, but Zilara's energy lit the way ahead, casting eerie shadows on the walls. They moved silently, listening for any sounds. Suddenly, they heard voices echoing through the cave. Did you hear that? One rogue said, sounding gruff. We need to keep watch for intruders. Alex's heart sank. What if they see us? He whispered. We will have to be clever, Zilara replied, her voice calm. Stay behind me and trust my instincts. They crept further into the cave, peering around corners and hiding behind large rocks. Finally, they entered a large chamber filled with stolen treasures, glittering in the dim light. In the center of the room, on a pedestal, sat the Starstone, a brilliant gem radiating light, pulsating like a heartbeat. There it is, Alex exclaimed, his eyes widening. Stay quiet, Zilara warned. We need to get it without being detected. As they approached the pedestal, Alex felt a rush of excitement. Just as he reached out to grab the Starstone, a shadow loomed over them. One of the rogues had spotted them. Intruders, the rogue shouted, drawing a weapon that glinted in the dark. Run, Zilara yelled, summoning her energy. She created a protective barrier around them as they dashed toward the exit. Alex could hear the rogue's footsteps pounding behind them, growing closer. Zilara focused, creating a wave of energy that knocked over piles of treasures, creating a barrier behind them. We need to reach the entrance, she urged. As they sprinted, Alex's heart raced. He pushed himself harder, the cave's shadows closing in around them. Finally, they burst through the entrance and into the light of the woods. They didn't stop running until they were far from the cave. Alex gasped for breath, his legs aching. Did we lose them? He asked, looking back. Yes, Zilara replied, smiling with relief. We did it, Alex. We have the Starstone. With trembling hands, Alex held the Starstone, feeling its warmth and power. This is incredible. But what now? Now we return it to its rightful place, Zilara said, her eyes shining with pride. You have proven your bravery today, Alex. Together, we have faced danger and triumphed. As they made their way back through the woods, Alex felt a sense of accomplishment. He had faced danger and emerged stronger, and he was beginning to understand the true meaning of courage. The adventure was far from over, but with Zilara by his side, he knew they could face anything that lay ahead. Trouble approaches. After the thrilling escape from the dark woods, Alex felt a sense of relief wash over him. He and Zilara had successfully retrieved the Starstone, and the bond between them had grown stronger. As they made their way back to the palace, the sunlight warmed their faces, and the vibrant colors of the landscape surrounded them. However, a sense of unease lingered in the air. Alex noticed that Zilara was quiet, her brow furrowed in thought. What's wrong? He asked, trying to break the silence. Zilara sighed, looking out over the fields. While we have the Starstone, the rogues will not give up easily. They will come after us. Their leader, Kale, is powerful and cunning. He will not stop until he retrieves what he believes is his. Alex felt a chill run down his spine. What can we do? We just faced them, and they were dangerous. We must prepare for their return, Zilara replied, determination shining in her eyes. We need allies. My people will stand with us, but we must reach out to the other tribes for help. The more allies we gather, the stronger we will be against Kale and his rogues." With a newfound sense of purpose, they set off towards the nearest village, where Zilara hoped to find allies willing to help. As they walked, Zilara explained the importance of unity among her people. "The tribes may have different customs, but we share the same goal: to protect our world. If we come together, we can defeat Kale." When they arrived at the village, they were greeted warmly by the locals. Zilara quickly gathered the leaders of the tribe, explaining their situation. "We need your support. The rogues are threatening our peace. If we don't stand together, we risk losing everything." The leaders exchanged concerned glances. One elder, a wise-looking alien with silver hair, stepped forward. "We understand your plight, Zilara, but the rogues are dangerous. What can we do to help?" Zilara spoke passionately, outlining a plan to strengthen their defenses. "We must create a barrier around the palace, using the Starstone's energy to protect us. We also need skilled fighters to defend against the rogues when they come." The leaders listened intently. After a long discussion, they agreed to support Zilara. They called upon their strongest warriors to join the fight and started gathering materials for the barrier. As they worked together, Alex felt a growing sense of camaraderie. He had never experienced such unity before, and it inspired him. He pitched in wherever he could, helping to carry supplies and offering ideas. Zilara watched with pride as Alex engaged with the villagers, sharing stories and laughter. Days passed, and the village bustled with activity. They built the barrier around the palace, using the Starstone's energy to create a shimmering shield. It glowed brightly, a symbol of their determination to stand together against the rogues. But as the barrier neared completion, a sense of tension hung in the air. Alex could feel it in his bones. He sensed that trouble was approaching, and he shared his concerns with Zilara. "What if Kale attacks before we're ready?" Zilara nodded, her expression serious. "We must stay vigilant. I will send scouts to watch for any signs of the rogues. We cannot afford to be caught off guard." That evening, as the sun set and darkness fell over the village, Zilara gathered everyone for a meeting. The warriors and villagers listened attentively as she outlined their strategy for the coming battle. "We will remain united," she said, her voice steady. "When Kale arrives, we will stand together as one. Our strength lies in our unity. Together, we can overcome any challenge." As the meeting ended, Alex felt a surge of hope. He looked around at the determined faces of the warriors, ready to defend their home. He knew that they were prepared to fight for their future. But as the night wore on, Alex couldn't shake the feeling that something was coming. He decided to take a walk outside the barrier, wanting to clear his mind. The stars shone brightly above, and the moon cast a soft glow over the landscape. Suddenly, he heard a rustling in the bushes nearby. His heart raced as he turned to investigate. "Hello? Is anyone there?" he called out, trying to sound brave. From the shadows emerged a figure, cloaked in darkness. It was a scout from one of the tribes, breathless and wide-eyed. "Zilara, Alex, you need to come quickly." "What is it?" Zilara asked, her expression turning serious. "The rogues are on the move. They are gathering forces at the edge of the forest. Kale is planning to attack," the scout exclaimed, panic in his voice. Alex's stomach dropped. "When will they come?" "Soon. We must be ready," the scout urged. Zilara exchanged a worried glance with Alex. "We need to warn everyone. Prepare for battle." As they rushed back to the village, Alex's mind raced. They had worked so hard to prepare, but now the moment of truth was approaching. Would their unity be strong enough to withstand the rogues' attack? When they arrived at the village, Zilara called for all the warriors to gather. Alex stood at her side, feeling the weight of the moment. The atmosphere was electric, filled with anticipation and fear. "Listen," Zilara shouted, her voice ringing out. "The rogues are coming. We must be ready to fight for our home, for our families, and for our future. We stand together, and together we will prevail." The warriors raised their weapons, shouting in agreement. Alex felt a rush of courage. He was no longer just an Earthling in a strange world. He was a part of something bigger. They would face the coming battle together, and he would fight alongside Zilara and her people. As the night deepened, Alex prepared for the fight ahead. He knew trouble was approaching, but he also knew that they would not face it alone. Together, they would stand strong against whatever came their way. Teaming up for victory. As dawn broke over the horizon, a warm golden light filled the village. But the mood among the warriors was anything but cheerful. They gathered at the edge of the palace, ready for the battle that lay ahead. Zilara stood at the forefront, her gaze focused and determined. "Today, we fight for our future," she said, addressing the gathered crowd. "Kale and his rogues think they can take our home, but they are wrong. We have the Starstone, and we have each other. Together, we are strong." The warriors cheered, their voices echoing in the crisp morning air. Alex felt a rush of excitement mixed with fear. He stood beside Zilara, ready to face whatever challenges awaited them. As the villagers moved into position, Zilara outlined their strategy. "We will create a defensive line around the palace. Alex, you will be with the archers. Your keen eye can help us spot any incoming threats." Alex nodded, feeling honored to be entrusted with such an important task. He joined a group of skilled archers, all of whom were focused and serious. They had a range of weapons, bows made from strong trees and arrows tipped with shimmering stone. "Stay alert," one of the archers whispered to him. "Kale is clever. He will not attack head-on. Expect tricks." As the morning passed, tension filled the air. Alex practiced with the bow, his hands trembling slightly. He had never been in a battle before. What if he missed? What if he failed? Zilara walked by, noticing his unease. "You can do this, Alex. Remember what we learned. Trust yourself and stay focused." Her words gave him strength. Suddenly, a scout rushed into the clearing, breathless and wide-eyed. "They are coming," he shouted. "Kale's army is approaching from the forest." Alex's heart raced. He quickly joined the archers, taking a deep breath to steady himself. He nocked an arrow, feeling the weight of responsibility on his shoulders. He had to protect his new friends and the home they had built together. From his position, Alex could see dark shapes moving in the distance. The rogues emerged from the trees, a chaotic mix of fierce warriors. Kale led them, his presence commanding and his eyes burning with anger. "Prepare yourselves," Zilara called out. "We will stand our ground." The warriors took their positions, ready to defend their home. Alex felt adrenaline pumping through his veins. He raised his bow, focusing on Kale as he approached. The rogue leader stopped a short distance away, sneering at them. "You think you can defeat me with a bunch of villagers? You are foolish, Zilara. Hand over the Starstone, and I may spare your lives." "We will never give it to you," Zilara shouted back, her voice strong. "This is our home, and we will fight to protect it." Kale's face twisted with rage. "Then you will suffer the consequences." He waved his hand, signaling his army to attack. The rogues charged forward, and chaos erupted. Alex's heart raced as he aimed his bow and released his first arrow. It soared through the air, hitting one of the approaching rogues. The warrior stumbled, but the attack only seemed to spur the others on. "Fire," Zilara commanded, and the archers released a hail of arrows into the advancing horde. The air filled with the sound of whistling arrows and the cries of warriors. Alex continued to shoot, feeling the rhythm of battle take over. He focused on his targets, moving quickly to reload and aim again. He could see Zilara fighting bravely at the front, her energy glowing as she defended her people. In the heat of battle, Alex noticed a group of rogues trying to flank their position. "Look out," he shouted, drawing the attention of nearby warriors. Together, They turned to face the new threat. With quick thinking, Alex raised his bow once more, shooting arrows at the incoming attackers. "We need to hold this line," he yelled, feeling a surge of determination. The battle raged on, and Zilara moved gracefully through the chaos, her energy illuminating the battlefield. She fought alongside her warriors, pushing back against the rogues. But Kale was still out there, and Alex knew he had to do something to stop him. Suddenly, Zilara caught sight of Kale, who was charging toward her, a menacing grin on his face. "This ends now, Zilara," he bellowed, raising his weapon. "Zilara!" Alex shouted, but she was already in motion, meeting Kale head-on. Their clash sent sparks flying as they exchanged blows. In that moment, Alex felt a rush of courage. He couldn't let Zilara fight alone. He grabbed his bow and aimed for Kale. He took a deep breath, focused on the target, and released his arrow. It flew through the air, hitting Kale in the shoulder. Kale howled in pain, momentarily distracted. "You little fool," he shouted, glaring at Alex. But it gave Zilara the opening she needed. With a powerful strike, she disarmed Kale and sent him stumbling back. "Now," Zilara yelled, rallying her warriors. "Push forward." The tide of battle began to turn as the warriors fought with renewed strength. They pressed forward, driving the rogues back. Alex felt a sense of pride swell in his chest. They were fighting together, and it made them stronger. Kale struggled to regain his footing, but the warriors were relentless. They surrounded him, and Zilara raised her hand, summoning energy from the Starstone. A brilliant light enveloped them, pushing back the rogue leader. "This is for our home," she declared, her voice fierce. The energy surged around them, amplifying their strength. With one final effort, the warriors united their forces, launching a coordinated attack. The rogues, overwhelmed, began to retreat. Alex felt exhilaration as they pushed Kale and his army back into the forest. As the battle ended, cheers erupted among the villagers. They had defended their home. Alex looked around, overwhelmed by the joy and relief on everyone's faces. Zilara stood tall, her spirit shining brighter than ever. "You did it, Alex," she said, rushing to him. "You were incredible. I couldn't have done it without you," Alex replied, feeling a deep connection with her. As they celebrated their victory, Alex realized that they had formed a bond that went beyond their differences. They were now a united front, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. With the rogues defeated, hope filled the air. Together, they had proven that their strength came from unity, and Alex felt proud to stand among them. This battle was just the beginning of their journey, but he knew they would face the future together, hand in hand. A new choice. The sun dipped low in the sky, casting a warm glow over the village. After the fierce battle with Kale and his rogues, the atmosphere was filled with a mix of celebration and relief. The warriors, bruised but victorious, gathered in the center of the village, their spirits high. Alex stood at the edge of the crowd, watching as Zilara spoke to the villagers. Her energy still glowed softly, a reminder of the strength they had drawn from the Starstone. "We fought bravely today," she said, her voice ringing clear. "But this victory is not just mine. It belongs to all of us. Together, we are unstoppable." The villagers erupted in cheers, their joy infectious. Alex felt a swell of pride in his chest. He had never felt so connected to a group before. But as the celebrations continued, a lingering question filled his mind. What would happen now? Would he stay in this alien world, or would he eventually return to Earth? Later that evening, as the stars began to twinkle in the darkening sky, Zilara found Alex sitting alone on a wooden bench outside the palace. She approached him, her expression thoughtful. "You seem distant," she said gently. "What's on your mind?" Alex sighed, running a hand through his hair. "I've been thinking about what comes next. I fought with you today, and I feel like I've found a place here. But I can't forget about Earth, my life back home." Zilara sat beside him, her presence comforting. I understand. This world is different, but it is filled with opportunities. You have fought alongside us and proven your worth. You belong here. But I have family and friends on Earth, Alex replied, his heart heavy. I miss them. I never expected to find a place here. And now I'm torn between two worlds. Zilara nodded, her eyes filled with empathy. It is a difficult choice, but you are not alone in this. You can always visit Earth. The Starstone has the power to open portals between worlds. We can find a way to keep both places in your life. Alex's heart raced at the thought. Really? I could see my family again. Yes, Zilara said, her smile brightening the night. But it is up to you to decide. You have a home here with us, but you also have roots in your own world. You can choose both. For a moment, silence hung between them as Alex contemplated his options. He thought about his life on Earth, his family, his friends, the life he had built. But then he remembered the adventure he had found here, the friends he had made, and the challenges he had faced. This world had opened his eyes to new possibilities. What if I choose to stay here? Alex asked, his voice uncertain. What if I decide to make this my home? Zilara turned to him, her gaze intense. Then you will be a part of my world. Together, we can work to build a better future for all our people. Your knowledge from Earth could help us thrive. We could learn so much from each other. The idea filled Alex with excitement. He could help Zilara and her people, using the skills and knowledge he had. He could be part of something greater, a new adventure that he had never imagined. But what about his family? The thought of leaving them behind weighed heavily on his heart. I want to help, he said slowly, but I can't just forget about Earth. My family needs to know I'm okay. Then we will find a way, Zilara said, her voice reassuring. We can open a portal whenever you want. You can visit Earth, see your family, and return here whenever you wish. It does not have to be an ending but a beginning. Alex felt a spark of hope igniting within him. So I can choose both. Yes, Zilara affirmed, her smile radiant. You can have the best of both worlds. You will not be alone in this journey. We will face whatever challenges come our way together. As they talked, Alex felt a sense of clarity washing over him. He had found a home here, among the vibrant people and the stunning landscape. He could contribute to something meaningful and still keep a connection to his past. I think I want to stay, he said finally, his voice steady. I want to help you and your people. I want to learn more about your culture and share what I know from Earth. Zilara's eyes sparkled with joy. Then it is settled. Together, we will build a future filled with hope and possibility. As they stood up, a cheer erupted from the villagers nearby. They had gathered around, celebrating their victory and their newfound bond. Alex felt a warmth in his heart, realizing he was no longer an outsider. He was part of a family, a community that embraced him. The villagers approached, offering congratulations and welcoming him into their fold. One of the elders stepped forward, her voice filled with wisdom. You have proven your bravery, Alex. We welcome you as one of our own. Together, we will face the future with courage. As the night wore on, Alex felt a sense of peace settling within him. He could embrace his new life while keeping a piece of his old life close to his heart. He was ready to embark on this journey, knowing he could navigate both worlds. Later that evening, as the stars shone brightly above, Alex and Zilara stood together, gazing up at the sky. I never thought I would find a place like this, Alex admitted. Thank you for believing in me. Zilara turned to him, her eyes filled with warmth. Thank you for choosing us. Together, we will create a future full of wonder. As they stood side by side, Alex felt the weight of his choices lift. He had made his decision, and he was ready to embrace whatever adventures awaited him. This was the beginning of a new chapter, one filled with hope, love, and the promise of a brighter future. And in that moment, Alex knew he had truly found his place in the universe.